Today on the 50-Pound Brain, we're going to make our own tack strips for putting these seat covers on. They've been on back order from Moss Motors forever, and I'm tired of waiting. So let's get to it. So as far as I can tell from what I've come up with on the interwebs, the tack strips are nothing more than like a beefy cardboard, layered cardboard. Some say it's made out of some kind of, hardwood veneer that's formed and all that jazz, but I don't know, because I've dealt with upholstery tack strip. Mrs. O recovered a chair, and it didn't seem to be much heftier than this. I mean, we're gonna multiply the layers of this, but so basically, I'm just getting the shape, and let me explain a little bit on how this goes down. So on this seat, this is the passenger side seat because it folds. And so what we need to do is we need to make a tack strip that goes in here that allows the seat cover to come down in the front. Let me put this on. Come down in the front and tack, and the back to wrap around and also tack in here. Now I have the base sitting on the cardboard because on the driver's seat it does not fold, and so the tack strip is here on the bottom, and the seat cover comes in, the back of the seat cover comes in here and staples, but it does the same thing for the front. The front of the seat cover staples inside in the bucket. So we have to make two of these and really one of these for the driver's seat. So what I'm doing now is just tracing out this shape, and then we'll trace out that shape and get our multiple layers and glue them together. So basically all we're going to do is that, and then we're going to move it up. Not that far. I mean, there's no set distance. I think just as long as we have enough to attach to. And we're going to cut a bunch of those out. We're going to try and lessen our workload a little bit here. I'm not even following the lines that well. Okay. Yeah, see, I think that will do. That'll do nicely. Let's see. Oh, we can still cut it. Okay. Yeah, I bet that would do. Okay. So I think 4 would be good. What do you think? Let's see. Get a thickness here. They're ultra calibrated at Leatherman. It's like it's 1/8 of an inch. Yeah. 1/8 of an inch, that'd be good. So now we just need to, I drew this inside line because, we don't need this whole thing because it gets contoured and gets ugly in here. So I'm basically going to cut this down to go from here into there, like that. So where's my pen? All right. So we're basically, actually I don't need to do all these. I just need to do one. Let's work smarter, not harder. Okay. Okay, that's that one. Okay. All right, and we'll stick with that line. That'll be a good line. Okay. I'll just cut these out off camera. You've already seen how my awesome kindergarten grade scissor skills. All right, it's the next day, and our spray glue did not do us right. Our layers are coming apart, so we're gonna have to do the wood glue thing. I didn't want to because I was afraid it would make this super hard, but it doesn't look like I have much choice now. So it's like they kind of stuck together a little bit, but it's not consistent. So hope this stuff comes out. Yeah, there we go. This won't be quite so critical time-wise. Yeah. Stick it to my board. So. Okay. Put this on the edge. There we go. All right. So what is nice about when we do our second one of these with the wood glue is we have time. I don't need to worry about spray glue in the back of that. So I'm just getting these all ready to go. Okay. And we put this in here and get it to form fit. That may be all that we need to do. Yeah, we can slide the individual layers. There. All right, so we had left these in the magnetized to the seat back, and they set up real nice. The problem that I kind of figured was going to happen has happened with the wood glue, and that's just, this is they're bonded together very well. However, they're stiff, which is okay. I was hoping, this one's a little bit more compliant, but at the same time, you can see it wants to delaminate, but it's not going to matter once we put it on the seat. The other thing that was an issue is like when I glued this one, because the wood glue, is still kind of a lubricant between the layers, these two slid. And then, of course, it's set up because it was clamped under the board. So, we're going to roll as is. Worst case, I can trim this off later after it's installed. All right, we're to the point now where we're going to drill holes into this pristine seat. And I found over the years that the easier it is to do something like this, the harder it is to undo. So plan out when you're designing how to mount stuff or what. I hate drilling holes in cars. I really do. I would rather work with what I have and make my new part conform to the existing, so that should it ever have to be undone, it can be easily undone. However, this is how this was designed from the factory. This is, from what I can tell, a brand new seat bucket. So it has no holes in the back for attaching tack strips. If I were to get, or if I had used seats, or the seats that originally came with this car, they would have holes there. So all I would have to do is match drill my tack strips to those holes, but there are no holes. So that's why I think these are new buckets. So let's do it. All I really need to do is mark the spots. Well, you know what? No. First one I think needs to go all the way through. And then I'll put a rivet in to hold it in place. Okay. See, this thing walked. That's the only thing I don't like about it. And one way we deburr our holes, just get a much larger drill bit. Don't put a lot of pressure on it, but let it cut. It'll cut and dimple your hole. Just take the sharp edge off. I learned that in aircraft battle damage school. If we were making scab patches to repair battle damage, bullet holes and junk like that. All right, let's see how our rivet did. There's going to do. Oh, this didn't drill all the way through. Okay, that's cool. Okay. And this is going to come from the back. Hope you can see that. Let me see what you can see. Oh, yeah. Okay. Bring you around a little bit. And then I added 2 more layers. They're not glued in. They will be. They don't need to be, really. This is the toughest part of the whole deal right here. This is where if they were all glued together, it would make it a little bit nicer. But like I said, it's not required. It's just there for staple depth. And I got the shortest staples I could get. And that right there is the OEM method of attaching these things. Now let's see if we can get our magnets to Hold on. And this was why I was going to originally put the carpet in with magnets, and I realized it would still slide around. It would stay to the floor, but it would still slide around. So I kind of rethought that. All right, here we go. There we go. Now we got to cut out our foam. We're going to follow a very similar process that we did with the tack strips. I've got this giant piece of cardboard magneted to the back of the seat. And now we're just going to trace this around. Now we just cut it out, and that'll be the shape of our foam that we want. There it is. Now I'm going to get a cleaner table and roll out our foam, get it drawn out. Okay. Now you see my foam in this bag I got from Joann's Fabrics, who's going out of business, which makes me sad. But I'm sure there's people a lot sadder than me that were more regular customers than I was. I take this foam out of this bag, it's never going back in here. It's kind of like, for those of you that know and are old enough to remember, it's like a boombox cord in the back. Once you unroll it, it never fits in that compartment again. Whoever put that in there was an expert. So he's fine. There we go. Actually, it may go in the bag once I cut two of these seat backs out. All right, so here's how I cut it. They say to use a hot, like a hot knife, wire knife, which would be super cool. And maybe I'll try and make one of those some other day. Or a bread knife, which has the serrated blade. This is what I used. You gotta have enough to where you get a little bit of sawing action, but you never, you're always cutting the full width of the foam. And this actually did us a pretty smooth cut. So now we're going to try and trim it up with this. And that might prove to be more difficult. Be doing fine work with it, but we'll see. And luckily, we live right down the street from a hospital, so it may turn into an emergency room video. Things don't go super well. I'm trying to have a better edge than the interim seat cover and padding that I made for the road rally that my buddy Dave and I went on when we did the video. That was pretty, the edges were pretty jagged. I mean, these aren't super pretty. I can still kind of clean them up some more, but I don't know how much of it's really going to matter with a vinyl seat cover. As long as the lumps aren't excessive, it's not really a big deal. Hot knife really would be cool. I think it would stink, but it would give you a nice clean edge on this. And you can, I'm pretty sure you can make one pretty cheap. You can get the heater wire from McMaster Car, where you get everything. Try and clean this edge up, just lump a little bit. You know what? I think that's good. What do we think of that? That's just sitting there. I guess the next test would be a little bit of hangover on the side, but like I said, our vinyl seat cover I think is going to smooth all that out. Probably would be nice to bevel these edges, but I don't know that I could do it neatly. So let's see what our seat cover on here looks like. There's still some staples in this. Yeah, there's like 100 staples in these seat covers. I was kind of surprised the same way with when Mrs. O recovered the chair that she did. Oh, these are dinky too. I got big wide ones. So maybe I won't need as many. We'll see. How many staples were in? I mean, if you can look. I don't know if you can see it. It's like a staple machine gun. They just millions of them. So we'll see what we end up doing. And yeah, see this? That ridge right there is the corner of our foam. Is what's causing that. And I don't know that it's necessarily a bad thing. And actually, it kind of smooths it out as we pull this down tight. So, and then this comes around. Yeah. I think that'll do, donkey. That'll do. Maybe I don't even need to glue it in. I don't know that if we get this stapled well, if it'll even be able to migrate, getting in and out of the seat. Because that's the big thing with those temporary seat covers is that, especially on the driver's seat being a back and bottom all one piece, there's no way to attach the front. Like I did on this one. I was able to go around, tie it down here because it folds. And so there's a gap. So it kept this seat cushion in better place than the driver's seat does. So it walks all around as you get in and out of the car. So, you know what? Maybe we'll just throw a couple staples in this and see what we're thinking. Because maybe I don't glue it in from the factory. But you know what? I think that will do. This is going to be the good time right here. Before we start on the front, let's make sure we're happy with the back. It actually seems to be okay. That's my rivet head for the securing rivets. There's the other one. There's the third one. Okay. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. Oh, see that staple pulled out. Probably not. This is why there's a million staples in this thing. Yeah, look at that. They're too short. Yeah. All right. So I got these, and they're good for this single layer, but I forgot about this foam lining on the front center panel here. So it even does okay for just the double layer vinyl, but then add in this foam padding. So we're going to go from a 1/4 inch staple to a 1/2 inch staple. And hopefully what will happen is when they hit the seat bucket, they'll bend over like a paper staple and actually hold better. We're about to see. This is a good on paper plan. We'll see for really reals how it goes. Yeah, they curl up this way. That one's no bueno. They're doing that. I don't know that that's necessarily good or bad. So I may have to make a run for some 3/8 inch staples. Okay. So we'll get just got to punch the hole for the hinge bolt. There we go. Higgins is done breathing hard from his little run to Home Depot. There we go. Okie doke. Hey, look, looks like a staple machine gun went through here. All right. Let's get it on the seat bottom and get it in the car. And there's the completed seat. Let me install it. I'm going to put it on the driver's side because I think it'll be handier to have the folding seat on the driver's side. And we'll pull the drivers out and do the seat cover on it. I won't show that. I'll show you the differences, but I'm not going to show you the whole process like I did on this one. There it is. Now I just got to do, and so we did what I intended. Made the folding one the driver's seat. So now I just got to get the passenger, or yeah, the driver, the old driver's seat becomes the passenger seat now. And then we'll be set up. I may still use my cloth covers because while I was bolting this back down, that thing got toasty in the sun. But Higgins is looking pretty good. He needs a bath though. He's dusty. But, all right, let's get on the old driver's seat. Okay, with the driver's seat, remember I said I was going to make 2 more for each one of the back tack strips, and I did. So I've glued it to the 4 ply that I already had, that I used the spray glue, and it flattened completely out, so they pretty much delaminated. So what's going to happen, they kind of hold themselves together, but yeah, not great. But the last 2, the 2 that I added, I used wood glue, and so it's pretty much the ones that are going to be holding the shape. So we'll let that set up. And then the other thing, let me show you these. So these go here, but on the bottom side, the outside, so that the back seat cover can come around. Oh yes, and the magnets are unhappy. They'd rather stick directly to the metal instead of through 6 layers of cardboard. So they're being painful. All right, I'll deal with that in a minute. So yeah, the back of the seat cover comes down, and these go right here. I guess so I got to do the same thing. I got to drill holes for the little bend over rivets, whatever you want to call those things, to hold that in place so that it can staple. So that's what we're going to do now. So you've seen the process. I'm not going to show you the process on doing this. It's pretty much the same. I'll show you the finished product. All right, tack strip are in place. Foam is cut out. Mrs. O is home. And now we're ready to finish it up. All right, so it doesn't look horrible. It came out all right. This stuff will all get secured because it's going to end up under the seat tracks. And so that'll clamp that into place. And the Moss Motors tack strip kit, there are pieces that go right here that this stuff tacks to, but here's the hole for my, here are the holes for my seat rails, and so that's just going to get clamped under it on both sides when I install those. So yeah, it'll do. Yeah, now I just got to put the whole seat track kit back on. It has been a long day, and this video covers over a week from start to finish. And we're really technically not finished, but this is where we're going to end this video. Driver's seat's in, passenger seat is covered. Need to put it in the car, but I realized today I was going to do that and on this video. But when we put carpet in the car, it's never had a passenger seat in it, so there's no holes for the seat mount screw or bolts, and for the seat belt and all that other jazz. So I decided to end the video here, and we'll put in the seat belt, put in the carpet and the seat belt and the seat and USB jack under the dash in the next video. So yeah, it's been a long day and I'm beat. 2 runs to the Home Depot to get staples. Got my hair cut, beard trimmed by JC at Supercuts. If you ask for the 50-pound brain discount, you will get a decent discount. An antelope in Layton by Target. Um, and I think she'll be really surprised if anybody asks for the 50-pound brain discount. So if you're the first one, just make sure you note the look on her face when you ask for it. But she did say she will give a discount. So that's cool. Yeah. So I hope these videos are coming out all right. I'm filming with my phone instead of the GoPro. I got a 15 from work. So, and the video quality is better. It's just painful to get the videos off of it. But, iPhones, that's how Top Gun Maverick was filmed. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it really was. No, it wasn't. So, but I like it. I like the video quality and the audio quality. I had to get new microphones because you'll see earlier on in the video that, well, if you're to this point, you'll realize that I've cut out a bunch of video because the audio dropped out because it's my horrible microphone system that I had. Thought it was the GoPro, ends up it's the microphone because it did it on the phone as well. So I got a new one for this, and I like it a lot better. So like and subscribe, turn on notifications. I know my video release schedule is wonky and erratic, but you turn on notifications, you'll find out when I post another wonky and erratic video. So thanks for tagging along. Thanks for watching.